Hakekeshi wa makirila, hakekeshi wa masocha, hakekeshi wa makirila, hakekeshi wa masocha. Hiyotwa ni socialism. Hiyotwa ni socialism. Hakekeshi wa makirila, hakekeshi wa masocha, hakekeshi wa makirila, hakekeshi wa masocha. Hiyotwa ni socialism. Hiyotwa ni socialism. Amanda, wetu.
Viva SACP, viva! Viva ANC, viva! Viva Kosato, viva! Viva Sanko, viva! Amanda! Comrade Chair, thank you very much. Comrade Andile, the chairperson of our program. My comrade, namhlanje we felt ukuthi sizo launch a program yethu yama Red Brigades in order to give an impetus to our elections program. Sifake umdla le campaign yonyulo laka 8th of May. La sokhetha ANC omele i-alliance yonke nomzansi Afrika, because yithe siphethe iprogram yokuchintsha impilo zabantu la eSouth Africa idlula zonke iprogram ezikhona etestiwe, iprogram ye-National Democratic Revolution. Later on zawuthetha ngayo le program. Kodwa okubalekile is that we are launching these Red Brigades in this district to ensure that the remaining few days, less than 37 days probably, we intensify our contact with the people. Our election message must reach out to all our people in every ward, in every voting district. The party platform and program is based on the voting districts. So our volunteers who are here, the task is to remain in the VDs and talk to the people. You in this area have experienced firsthand the brutality of those who are championing the capitalist system, those that do not care about the living conditions and the poor, of the poor and their conditions. Those that when they took this municipality, things reversed. And this is the challenge that we will have nationally. We have seen it in Johannesburg, for instance. December 2016, refuge was not removed in the township of Soweto. It was smelling because those who have taken the municipality did not care about the people of Soweto. The same way that they did not care about the people of Nelson Mandela. So if given a chance to populist forces and demagogic forces, the capitalist forces, they never respect our people. That is why we say, despite all our challenges, internal and external, that we face as a movement, we must not make a mistake and not consolidate the power that we have today through government. If we do make that mistake and lose elections, it will take us many decades, many decades to reach our objectives. Ulening, why sometimes in the lack of appreciation of the essence of time and what needs to be done, sometimes because as Slony Piscat, the reversals or regression in a revolution has an impact of several decades. There are times when days become decades and decades become days. Ngamanye amazwe kuthi ukuthi if singaluza lama elections singakhankasi kahle i-reversal esizoba nayo in few days izawu eraser i-progress esibe nayo in 2.5 decades. And if we do well and slandele ama outcomes abuya ku ANC National Conference in Nasrec 2017 after winning the elections, si implemente i-organizational renewal program, si implemente i-commitment yethu of fighting against corruption, we can also gain in few days several decades in development. All of this, it depends ukuthi thina isikhathi sisebenzisa kanjani. Therefore, my comrade, it is very important that we have launched this Red Brigades to do the elections work. There are problems and challenges that I know when we talk to the people they raise. Problem of some of our leaders and members who are involved in corruption. What we can say, and it's very simple, we are committed to defeat corruption as a movement, and we will continue to fight against corruption. The ANC is not corrupt. And I've seen that sometimes the media, when there are debates, they allow people to just simply lump the ANC with the conduct of its leaders. That is why we are dealing with this particular matter, and they must refrain from doing that and confront specific individuals. As your votela corruption, we are going to vote for the African National Congress. Members who are tainted, who are on our list, will be dealt with by the movement itself post the elections. Now, we are not even going to bargain with anybody on the basis of their corrupt activities. We are focusing on winning the elections. We want you as well, comrades, to focus on winning the elections. That's the primary mandate of the Communist Party at this point in time, the strategic task of our cadres and our revolution today. Therefore, the mobilization of our people to participate in the elections is important. Why are we participating in these elections? Through the African National Congress. Comrade Umbekesa, non-Bekesa, how to know a party must stand on its own. There's no debate about that. But that's not the time. The time now is to win the May elections. So that aspect is only, as I said, about 37 days or so. We can put it aside and deal with the challenge that we are faced with now. We'll come back to that. We've organized a special national congress to debate and resolve on this question in December. Comrade Nombekes, if you are not invited, if you are not in the delegation, tell a special guest, yes, to that special national congress, Abekon. So we debate this question as a Communist Party. Right now, our main focus is to consolidate a program of the National Democratic Revolution. Yini le program ye National Democratic Revolution? Why Communist Party ifuna kangaka le program ye National Democratic Revolution? Into elula ke le program masi simplify amaqabane. Umkhankaso wokuphelisa ukungalekani kwabantu emphakathini ukuya ngebala nokuya ngesimo emnothweni nokuya ngegender. That is the program to end inequalities from a racial perspective, from a gender perspective, as well as from a class perspective. That is, our program seeks to end racism in all its forms and to resolve the national question. We remain one country, as well as to end patriarchy. Patriarchy, it's an offshoot of the capitalist system and is the system that reproduces male domination over women. So we want to end this system. We want to end the root cause of the inequality between men and women through the National Democratic Revolution. And to end sexism. But you can't deal with sexism if, for instance, the capitalist system remains intact. It becomes an illusion to think that a capitalist system will end gender inequality. It will only brush off. It will put some laws that will be difficult to implement. Women will remain exploited. That is why, to deepen that, within this phase where everybody wants to participate in the struggle to end women exploitation and gender inequality, that we join forces with them, as well as the program to end class exploitation, the capitalist oppression over the working class, to create a society of equals in relation to the ownership of the means of production, in relation to the ownership of the economy. So if you like, the end of capitalism will create full equality in our society. That is the reason why the Communist Party wants to implement this program. That program is not socialism. But that program gives us as a way, a platform towards socialism. You can't have socialism with capitalist inequality or gender inequality. It can't happen. So our relationship with the African National Congress is based on this program. As Yenzeli favor ANC to participate in the National Democratic Revolution, and Guayona is Yenzeli favor. Tina will achieve this mission and continue with this mission until we have dismantled the oppressive machinery of the capitalist system. We'll create socialism in this country. Socialism will reign. Inequality will end. That's our commitment as a Communist Party. And therefore, the Communist Party, our members, are not cousin brothers or cousin sisters in the African National Congress. They are there in their own right to deepen this revolutionary agenda. But we understand, comrades, there are some of our comrades inside our own movement who have already arrived. Labayakon. Tina safuna le socialism, but they feel good, no, they've already arrived. Take, for instance, women multimillionaires who own means of production, mines, factories, and so forth. Whilst they are oppressed by patriarchy, by class terms they are oppressors, and by national terms they are free. So their level of achievement under capitalism makes them realize that they've achieved their dreams. The same as men inside our own movement. We reach one day Nobabu Stalin Ngwegumlande Airport, Comrade Mkhach. Kufika omunye umfana, possibly 25, 26. Drive Bentley. Simana aerobot kanje. Uthi umdala weSolly yamona nomfana ngithi ya. Uthi ay angeke usamtshela next ngesocialism. Sekafikile la yakhona. It's an illustration. So amongst us, because in the process of the National Democratic Revolution, in the contest, the point that you were raising, Comrade Nombekes, about ownership of the economy, the mines. If they are not owned by the public, they are just owned by blacks. It's not good enough. Because if they are owned by black capitalists, it doesn't end exploitation of workers. It doesn't end capitalism, it continues the capitalist system even when it's in black hands. So what we are fighting for is against the system of capitalism. Whether it is in black hands, white hands, pink hands, red hands, we don't care. We don't want capitalism, the exploiters. That's the basis of our struggle. So in this regard, our commitment to the National Democratic Revolution is our commitment to a part of a strategy towards socialism. And there are many strategies. That could include, for instance, participating in political power in our own right at an appropriate time. So we have said as a central committee, the strategic task now is to ensure that our liberation movement doesn't lose political power. That's the task of all of us. In that regard, we must move forward together as a movement. And therefore, my comrade, there are a few things that one will need to just highlight. So that says why socialism is a better alternative than capitalism. In capitalism, it concentrates amandla, the ownership in private hands. That's one of its main features. That is why the marketeers, they are committed to private economy. The ownership of individuals. Bahlale phansi baphikisana omunye athi mina sengiricha 500 million in wealth. Omunye athi I have crossed the billion mark. Omunye athi no, I'm now reaching in assets possibly 5 billion. They compete on who owns what. They are obsessed with ownership. They are not looking at the interests of their well-being as human beings. That is why all the private things under capitalism had failed humanity. And therefore, the other key measure of the capitalist system is that its own mission is to make profit for the owners of the economy, those who buy your labor. They make your labor a simple commodity. A commodity is anything that is useful of human labor that you can buy. They turn this cloth, which is a necessary thing for me as a clothing. They make it a commodity. Without money, I won't have clothing. Without money, I won't have housing. Without money, I won't have food. Without money, I won't have sanitation, like most of our people. So they turn all human needs into commodities in which only money can buy them. Now, when we take power as socialists, Comrade Zotwa, one of our tasks is to change the mission of production. Instead of producing for profit, we produce for social needs of the people. That is critical for us. Otherwise, as long as we have not touched the mission of the capitalist production system, inequality will remain in society. That is why in our election message we say the support for the African National Congress is not a blank check. But to say it's not a blank check, it's also not a blackmail. No, we're not blackmailing the African National Congress. We are committed to the transformation agenda of our country. We are committed to our revolution. That is why we are saying we want men and women of integrity, men and women of honesty, men and women of humility, men and women of accountability, who are willing to be grilled by our people and are prepared to travel the path with us in this difficult period of revolution. Revolution is not an easy thing. That is why, for instance, and I was saying this, Comrade Davison, you were outside. When we were expressing our sincere condolences to you and your family on the loss of your son from gangsters. And that within 2 weeks you are back with us working hard for us to win elections. We deeply appreciate that. But I must say, when a revolution is getting successful, one of its major challenges is the organization of crime and criminals into syndicates, into mafias that control even the state system. And that period, there will be many vacillations. But in ama vacillators esihlalo ama velashona, yeah, there will be many vacillations. There will be no consistency. People will do things just to protect themselves. And the revolution will lose its meaning. And it will mark time for a long, long time. In mark timing, it's when you move in one space, like I'm doing now. It's like I'm walking, but I'm not going anywhere. And I'll get tired in this same spot. We must give the revolution an impetus to move forward. And that's the process, that's the reason why we are embarking on this particular campaign, to bring in oomph into the campaign as the Communist Party, to join our cadres across our movement, to put aside our differences so that we can give our revolution oomph. And doing so, we are consolidating the struggle for socialism. If our cadres understand that, Nopala, Uslalo, Andy, would have gone far in building socialism in our country. I must say, comrade, is socialism, let's say, why cities are pelisa indlala? Is our pelisa inequality? Because it's socio inequality. It's in the production sphere, like produce corner, all human needs. That's the source of inequality. But we are not necessarily saying, and people mustn't get scared, because there have been people who have been creating, because they are still looking at the old apartheid propaganda and lies about communists. Go to Cuba, for instance. You will see, mawufika nje, ukuthi ufike komunye umhlaba la abantu balenganayo across the board, men and women. Women walk through the night freely in Cuba. People seldom die. They live longer. They have the best health system. A small island, poor country has the best health system than even the so-called advanced economies like America. America may have technology of this and that. That is why when our people in Liberia were confronted with Ebola, the Cuban doctors volunteered to go and end Ebola. In other countries, they were fearing to go. How can a small island take this leadership of the world on the fight for life, fight against such diseases, dangerous diseases as Ebola? And the economies of the world with big money, they don't know what to do. They fear a simple disease. It's because of the strength of that revolution, because that revolution is socialist in character. Iqinile. I-revolution yabantu. Akusi revolution yama resources. Akusi revolution yemali. It's a people's revolution. It's about the needs of the people. Therefore, socialism will happen here. Even Donald Trump is fearing socialism. For the first time in many years, a US president talks about socialism. When he declared in some address that America will never be socialist, it was because he was feeling it. The young people of America are demanding socialism. Socialism will come. It's a worldwide system. It will reach America. That is why Donald Trump, in his commitment to make sure that there's no socialism in the US, has embarked on a mission to destroy socialist countries in Latin America. He has declared Nicaragua, Bolivia, Venezuela, and Cuba as threats because these countries are implementing socialism in their own countries. The oligarchs, the monopolies are running away because the people have rejected their lives and their control of their resources and their economy. We will reach that here in this country, and we will be equal across the board. And therefore, in this regard, we want to say to the Communist Party in the province, and this district in particular, you have had a lesson. Let's use this lesson of this difficult coalition government that we have to note the following. You can't run a sustained revolutionary mandate on coalitions. You can't. Coalitions necessarily are not for developing countries. Coalitions are for those countries that have achieved a lot. They don't even regard politics as concentrated system of economics that is needed to transform society and lives of the people. It's just a playground of individuals with ideas and influence on society and for self-interest, career politicians. We are not politicians, we are revolutionaries. Our mission is to change society. And therefore, in order to consolidate the power that we have lost before here, we must not make any unnecessary mistakes to suit an individual. When there's a change of leadership, he must be rewarded with a position in government. We even change coalitions. Coalitions don't work like that. They are very sensitive. One small thing, you are out. You must ask the people of Lesotho. They have got a system there, it's called proportionate compensate. It's a coalition system they borrowed from New Zealand. It has put that country into a crisis until the last elections where the leader won by more than 50%. Now they can implement their programs. So we mustn't allow that. And that's the point that we have raised earlier on, that even ourselves, we mustn't go to that particular level where we have to work on coalitions to implement our programs. We need a full mandate of the people. That is why siyasithoba kubantu bakuthi sithi kubo lamaphutha esiwayenzile siwaxoxile endlini ekhaya kwa-alliance naku-ANC lo sumthumile ukuthi amele thina su-alliance. Sithi kubo with humility, we have rectified our problems. Give us another chance. We are renewing our vows of commitment to serve this country selflessly. If they do that, South Africa will never be the same again. That is why sit wonke umuntu with your families on the 8th of May. You wake up very early to go and vote for the African National Congress. That vote is also a vote for the consolidation of socialism. In closing, Makaban, we want to say to you, let's use this time to rebuild our structures. Mass mobilization, it's something that must be organic. In every community, we must build SACP structures, consolidate our organization. An organization that is not strong will not be respected. Even the process of the reconfiguration of the alliance will not be respected if we are not strong. Those comrades in the alliance will simply say, yeah, but Nina, what are we engaging with here? Anena nama structures, anena a program. You can't run a simple program or a simple idea to intervene. So who are you? So we must consolidate ourselves, build ourselves as a strong organization. On that basis, we will enter the reconfiguration process of the alliance properly as equal partners. Because in the alliance we are equals. We have just mandated the ANC to lead the alliance or to head the alliance because it is a multi-class organization. And the alliance is an inter-class alliance. It's an alliance of class forces. All of us find ourselves in the ANC. But it may not necessarily be the case reverse-wise, although dialectically it might be a problem. But it is in reality, in the broader scheme of things. There are communists in the ANC, and there are nationalists, progressive in the SACP. So in that regard, the nationalists who are in the SACP are communists. They will be found in the ANC. But they are capitalists in the ANC. They may not be capitalists in the Communist Party. That is why we can say this inverse process may happen much more on the other side. So building the SACP structures is very important. Building the alliance from below is very important. And I'm glad that in this ward, we are working together as the alliance. We must continue to do so and work together and consolidate our revolution right from below and build the alliance right from below, not top down. Top down has not worked. It's just palace politics, arrangements of leaders. When they betray each other, they fight openly in public. But build the structures from below and teach the national leadership how to build an alliance. The campaign that we have seen here on the ground, in this ward particularly, is very important for the unity of our movement. It's a lesson we can learn across the board, across the alliance. In doing so, we will then have an important tool in our hands to reconfigure the alliance, to change the manner in which the alliance operates. So with these few words, comrades, I want to leave you with the quote from Comrade Moses Kotani, who made a call to our young people when he was still alive. And this call was in the fight against apartheid. Now, we want to give you this call from Moses Kotani to reflect the difficult challenge that our revolution faces today. It goes like this. At this hour of destiny, your country and your people needs you. The future is in your hands, and it will be what you make of it. Close quote. The future of our country is in your hands. It will be what you make of it. Don't give it to the populists. Don't give it to the demagogues. Those who have shown that they are committed to destroy what we have begun to build over the last 25 years. Don't give to the wrong forces that will reverse all the gains of our revolution, like these capitalist forces that once took this metro. Take it in your hands. Bestow it on a revolutionary movement that has got tried and tested history, that has made the greatest sacrifice for the liberation of our country, the African National Congress and its allies. 8 May, let's vote the African National Congress. Amandla! Long live the alliance, long live! Forward to socialism, forward! Thank you very much, Comrade Chair.
Kosnapa. Yes. Amandla, comrades, Ngos, masibulele man, simqhobele Unobhala. Masimqhubeleni ma comrade. Thanks very much comrade Solly. Siyabulela kakhulu Qabane.